So, today, the topic of discussion is addiction. So, that's what we're going to be speaking about today. I can only tell you my experience with addiction. Or I guess I should say I am, because once an addict, always an addict. So, I am addicted to Xanax and alcohol. Those were my two things. I had a little, 2-month thing with Molly going on, but you get tired of like being up and a little energizer bunny all the time. At least I did. So yeah, that didn't last long. The first time I ever took a Xanax, I was 16. I think it was just because a friend was like, "Hey, I take these make me feel this way, so why don't you try this?" Because I was probably complaining about being depressed and stuff. I was a very depressed teenager, very, very, very depressed majority of the time. Like I said, I'm bipolar, so I have those times where I'm not depressed, but majority of the time when I was a teenager, I was very depressed. So that is how I initially started Xanax. And then when I was 17, I met my baby father, and he's the one who introduced me to alcohol. The first time I ever drank, and I got super, super drunk, I blacked out, didn't remember nothing that happened that night. It was very bad. And this is the first time I ever drank alcohol. And it was because my baby father, we were boyfriend and girlfriend at the time. He had a party at his mom's house. Hi again. The baby woke up. I had to relocate. But as I was saying, he had a party for New Year's, and I got very drunk, embarrassingly drunk. I was throwing up and everything at this party. It was very bad. And then after the throw up came the blackout, which I was told as when I was blacked out, there was more throw up and just me being drunk and belligerent. So that's what that entailed. And that is when it all started. And every drug that I've tried, he has introduced me to it first. Seriously. Because that's what he used to do. He used to just take stuff. And then he'd come to me like, "Hey, you want to try this with me?" And I'd be like, "What is that? What does that do for you? How does that make you feel?" And I'd be like, "Nah, I don't want to try that." I tried Molly with him, like I said, but that only lasted 2 months. E-pills. His drug was dope. That's what he liked. But I wasn't, I was always scared to do that. I'm trying to think. I don't know why it's so hard for me to think right now. Why I can't think of things. But moral of the story is we tried a lot of stuff together. And the alcoholism pretty much came from me trying to drown stuff out. And alcohol was actually way easier to obtain than Xanax. That's how it kind of became I had the two addictions at the same time, because when I was getting Xanax, I was just mixing it with the alcohol, and it was just a very bad mix. You should never mix Xanax with alcohol. Basically, I could tell you guys some things. I woke up passed out in my car before, in the middle of nowhere. I didn't know where I was. I didn't even know how I got to where I was, because apparently I was so drunk that I was blacked out, so I don't remember how I got there. So how did I get here if I was that drunk? I shouldn't have been driving. So stuff like that happens. And what else? I have gotten drunk and I had a girlfriend, and I used to just beat her up. It got very bad. I feel like I was just making excuses, making reasons for me to beat her up, because she didn't ever really do anything. So there was no reason for me to be mad at her to the point where I want to beat her up, like punch her in her face. Like, it was unnecessary. But when you're drunk, you don't care about stuff like that. And when you're off Xanax, you definitely do not care about stuff like that. So then that that's what ends up happening. It was bad to the point of like I was lying to people, like my family. I was going to work off Xans and I was going to work drunk. Like, seriously, like I was bugging. I was acting crazy. I'm not gonna lie, I know I was acting crazy. You don't even have to tell me. I didn't care at that time. Really didn't. And that's really when I knew like that my addiction had gotten really bad, when like I couldn't stay away from this long enough to go to work. Like if I went to work without drinking or without popping Zanny, like I wouldn't make it through the workday. And that's when I knew like I had a problem. And this was also around the same time where I tried to commit suicide using Xanax and alcohol. I took way too much, and I knew I took way too much, but I didn't care. So that incident actually is what landed me. They don't call them like psych wards anymore. They call them behavioral hospitals or something like that. Whatever. I was in a damn psych ward. And I actually hated that. I hated being there. I felt like I was being forced to do something that I didn't want to do, because if I'm coming here, like, I came here, I signed myself in, I'm admitting to you, like, I have this problem. This is why I'm here. I need help. They're giving me pills. I'm telling you that I have an addiction to Xanax, and you're giving me pills that are exactly like Xanax. Like, I literally felt the same way I felt when I was on Xanax. Like, I felt like, what am I here for? I could have stayed home and been high. Like, if, like, honestly. And I don't know. I ended up signing myself out of there. And at that point, I had it in my head, like, I'm just gonna do it by myself, because like clearly I can't go to an institution if they're gonna just drug me up just to basically keep me quiet. That's what I feel like. They drug us up to keep us quiet, make their lives easy, and then they don't really care about us. Then they don't really treat us. Then they send us home on our merry way, and then we end up back in the same situation because there was never nothing really done. Like nothing was solved at all. That happened, and then after that, that's when I lost my job. The story I was telling you guys about how I stopped caring about my job and I lost it. Well, I didn't. Well, yeah, I did lose it, but like, you know what I mean. It wasn't like I lost it, like I got fired. Like I lost it, like because I stopped going. So then they really had no choice but to fire me because I'm not showing up. So like, what do we have you hired for if you're not coming to work? So that is when that happened. After I got out the hospital, my mind was playing games on me and tricked me into believing that everybody at my job was out to get me. So I didn't want to go there anymore. And so I actually lost a very good paying job. That job was actually very good paying. I was making bank. I was making bank at that job. Um, so yeah, that is when my addiction got really bad. And I was 19 at the time that this stuff is going down. And I was so sad. Like, I missed New Year's. I was in the psych ward on New Year's. And I never missed a New Year's before in my life. I was always with my family. And the year that I met my baby father, I had New Year's with him. So it's like, I'm in a hospital on New Year's when I should be with my family, and my mom, TJ, Like, come on, I'm making a video, bro. When I should have been home with my family, and that really hit home for me because it's like my family is asking where I am, and my mom has to lie. Like, I forget what my mom was telling people, but for this week that I actually was longer than a week. It was like 10 days that I'm gone. Like, I'm literally missing to people because nobody's seen me. Only my mom is the one that knows where I am. My mom is basically, I guess you could say, covering for me because I was embarrassed. Like, I didn't want people to know where I was. So she kept her promise. She didn't tell nobody. Um, she left that up to me. Like, whoever I told was due knew. And I just didn't really like the feeling of that at all. And I didn't like the feeling of, like, I didn't make her lie for me, but, like, I feel like I made her lie for me because, like, this was my problem. And I wanted my problem to be a secret. But at the same time, like, I brought you into this. By I brought you into this by telling you and having you be the one to bring me to the hospital. And obviously, when I ask you to bring me to the hospital, you're gonna ask why. So then I'm explaining to you the situation. So now you feel obligated. It should have just never been a situation at all. I should have never had to put my mother in that situation. After I came home from the hospital, I lost my job, so I didn't work for a few months, and then I got a job at this cleaning place, and at this time, like, I've been clean for some months, and so I'm working at this cleaning place. I ended up losing that job because I had to quit because of my health. I found out I have a lot of allergies, and the job that I had involved me cleaning houses, like deep cleaning houses. Like, you know, those people that come and like deep clean, they like clean the baseboards and the walls and ceiling fans and basically everything that nobody ever touches is what we touch. So I kept having asthma attacks, and me having these asthma attacks like kept leading to me getting bronchitis. So I kept catching bronchitis because my lungs are like real irritated, and so I did an allergy test. Come to find out, the reason why my lungs are so irritated is because I keep breathing in the dust from these dirty freaking houses that I'm cleaning, and it's making me sick. So I had to quit the job, and sometime after I did that, I relapsed because at this time I'm 20. So yeah, I relapsed, and I went through like this phase. This is like when it started happening too. It started this year, like the year of me being 20, of me just like having like house parties every day. And I was doing it because I felt alone. I didn't like being alone in my house. My mother was dating this person that was very bad for me. He was very bad for my health. And that's where I'm gonna leave that at. I'm not gonna go into too much detail about that. This person was a bad person. They did things that if you're dating somebody's mother, you should treat their children as if they are your own. And this person was pure evil. He did things, he said things, and I could not be around him. I was scared to be around him. Not scared because I think that he's going to hurt me, but like scared that like he's gonna do something weird because he did really weird stuff. I'm not even gonna go into that. I'll leave that where it is. That's really how it started. Me just wanting somebody to be at my house with me because I don't want to be alone. Because this man can just do whatever he wants at any time. And he did with no problem. So, yeah, I don't want to be alone. And That's how it started. It started with a few friends. A few friends led to a few more, and then a few more, and then yeah, it turned into parties. Like, I got very, very popular, and I feel like it happened out of nowhere. This popularity that I got, and I was loving it. You want to know why I was loving it? Because it was feeding my addiction. I didn't have to pay for Xanax. I didn't have to pay for alcohol. You want to know why? Because people were coming over and bringing it to me because they could come chill at my house. Like, that's really what it was. They could come chill here as long as they bring me something. And people didn't care. They came and they brought stuff. Like, seriously. And when I was working, like when I had work, I was buying my own stuff. So, like, it really became a thing of like, at one point, I didn't even need them anymore to provide my fix because I'm working. I can do it myself. Now it's just like I just like the company. I like the attention. I like the fact that I have friends. And the reason for that is because growing up in elementary school and middle school, like I was never popular. Like I didn't really have friends. I had a few friends and that was that. Even when I left New Jersey and I moved to Easton, like I made a few friends. I had a best friend who abandoned me at the worst point in my life. And her reasoning was because of the way that I was behaving. And I understand that. I understand that 100%. But this is why I say and I stress so much that you need to pay attention to your friends and your family because when people act out, there's always a reason. She didn't like me acting out. She didn't like the way I was behaving. She didn't want to be my friend anymore. All right, I understand that, like I said, but why am I acting like this? She didn't care enough to find out. She didn't never even ask me, like, was I okay? Why are you doing this? Like, Dej, why are you acting like this? She never asked me that. Because that was my best friend, so I guarantee you, if she would have asked me, I would have told you. But it's not something that I just come out and say. Because I kept the fact that I have these issues, these mental issues, a secret. I kept the fact that I have this addiction a secret. So I'm not going to just blurt it out and tell you. But if you would have asked me, if you would have cared enough, I would have told you. And maybe you could have helped me. I don't know. I can't say, but you never know, like, what, because it's just little things like that for people that have mental health issues seriously mean a lot. So maybe it would have helped me, maybe it wouldn't have. But I don't feel like I deserved to be abandoned, and that's really what happened. I got abandoned. So I don't have a best friend any longer. And then out of nowhere, I started meeting these people and I get really close to these people. So it was making me happy. I had a best friend again. And actually, the best friend that I met during this is still my best friend to this day. She stuck with me through my craziness. And I don't know why. I probably should ask her if I don't know if she knows why. But she really did. She stuck with me through the craziness and to this day she's still my best friend. States away. She's still my best friend. We'll FaceTime and we still have the same connection that we had when I was there. We eat the same breakfast and don't even know it. Like stuff like that. We'll call each other, hey, what'd you have for breakfast today? Oh, I had this. Oh, shoot, I had that too. Like, and like, seriously, like the connection is still there and we're states away. So, right now, I can say I'm at a better place in my life. I am drug free. I do drink on occasion, but I don't drink to get drunk anymore. That's what the problem was. I was addicted to the feeling of being drunk because when I was drunk, I had no feeling. And that's what I liked. That's what I wanted, the no feeling. So, I can proudly say that I don't do that anymore. I haven't done that in a long time, in over a year. I don't even like drink like hard liquor. Like I'll drink like a couple Mike's hard lemonades or something like that. Like seriously, more just to take the edge off. But I don't indulge in it anymore like how I used to. And I'm 100% drug free. Do not do any drugs. and I am in a good place in my life because right now I have the support system that I needed years ago. If I would have had this support system that I have now, I probably wouldn't have had such a hard time dealing with what I was dealing with because I would have had people to talk to. But it's okay. They came at the right time. They weren't there when I wanted them, but they were there when I needed them. And that's real because when I needed these people, they came into my life. And as soon as they came into my life slowly started to look up because these people are telling me things about myself and basically making me take a look in the mirror. And once you do that, you take a step back from everybody. And I took a literal step back. I moved to Florida, from Pennsylvania all the way to Florida. I realized a lot of things. A lot of stress was just lifted off of my shoulders. And it's just so much better. I'm in a better headspace than I ever was, honestly, right now. And that's why I'm making these videos because I want people to know that, like, it is possible to be okay. Even though, obviously, with most of the conditions that we have, there's gonna be times where we're not okay because that's just the reality of it. It happens. But for the most part, like, I'm okay. And I can finally say that now and be confident about saying that. And I want you guys to know, and I want to help you guys get to where I am. I started doing research, I started studying ways to help me. I don't like taking pills because of my previous addiction, so I started looking into ways to help my anxiety, help my depression without taking pills. Or when I'm having an anxiety attack, I can't take a pill for anxiety, so let me do grounding techniques like I told you about in my previous video. That's why I suggested that to you guys because that really helped me. I seriously used to be able to calm myself down using that. I don't even have panic attacks anymore. I haven't had a panic attack in a while. That's why I say used to. But I used to have them very often, like for no reason. I used to text my mom or call my mom, like, Mom, like, I'm having another one. And she's like, well, why? I don't know. I'm just having one. And, like, I can't make it stop. And that was at the point where I started doing research, like, what can I do for this? Like, why is this happening to me? So I started looking into ways to help myself. Seriously. That's why I tell you guys, if you have any questions, just ask. Even if I don't know the answer, I will look up the answer for you. I promise you, I will get you whatever you're looking for. I think this is pretty much going to finish off my video. I just want you guys to don't be afraid to talk to people, okay? You're not crazy, because that is why a lot of people don't speak. They think that people are going to think they're crazy. You're not crazy. You're you. You're who you are. You're who you're supposed to be. So don't think that because you are different than somebody else that you're crazy, because you're not. And if you don't have anybody else in this world to talk to, honest to God, I will talk to you. Seriously, reach out to me. I'll answer, honestly. I really will. I just want you guys to know that. Um, Subscribe to my channel. Please, please subscribe to my channel. Get your friends to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend. The more viewers I get, the more videos I'm gonna make. Which basically means I'm gonna keep making these as long as you guys like them. I'm not gonna just keep doing this if, nobody's gonna watch them. But I am very hopeful that people will keep watching and that you guys will tell people to watch and subscribe. And I'll put all my information once again in the description like I did for the last video. I may just start doing that every video from now on. I want to give you guys an update on what's to come. I have 2 interviews coming for you, from 2 different perspectives. I'm not gonna give you guys too much insight on that, but I feel like you guys will like those, because it's different. It's coming from a different perspective. I'm trying to start a segment where people are basically talking about their experience with mental health, or if they have a family member or a friend that they deal with that has mental health, basically tell their story. And I'm trying to think of a name to call this segment because I don't want to say like I'm starting a segment and then when I post it, like, what am I going to name the videos? Like, you know what I mean? So, if you guys have any ideas on what I could name that segment, like, seriously, I'll take all advice because I'm drawing a blank right now. I've been trying to figure this out all day today. But that's what's to come. I have topic videos coming as well. I literally have a list written down of like things that people want me to make videos about. Um, I'm getting to them. I'm so sorry if I haven't made your video yet. I promise you I'm getting to them. I have it written down. I can only do one video at a time. I'm only one person, so just bear with me. They're coming. And I think that is all. So I'm going to end this now. You guys have a very wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you tomorrow.